later on in the program. But as of now, the banner headline, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, TKR victory lift country's spirits. TGT wins with CPL. You can get the details on page 3 of today's edition of the Newsday newspaper. Yes, as we move on and keep reminding you of what are some of the stories in today's edition of the Newsday newspaper. Funeral home gives vouchers to people wearing masks properly. Now, that's a story which I want to talk about. And later on in the program, I'll be engaging the President General of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, Mr. Nirvan Maraj, an attorney at law also, to get his thought on this mask legislation. There are a number of ambiguity in it. It's not too clear as to who can be charged, when they can be charged, and where they can be charged. So it's something which we're going to look at this morning. 4 COVID-19 deaths in one day, total now 43. Well, I cannot impress upon you how frightening this situation is in terms of the figures, in terms of the stats coming to us. Thus far, 2,698 persons have been confirmed cases, 43 deaths, 1,900 active cases. So it's a very frightening situation indeed. And again, let me impress upon you, the population, as we head into the weekend, to exercise all caution. That is to say, observe all of the necessary guidelines, mask up, sanitize, and observe social distancing. Critically ill COVID-19 patient in Tobago. Now, those stories you can catch on page 5 of today's edition of the Newsday newspaper. Presal man charged with Venezuelan woman's murder. And on to another story, ganja activists held for weed. Those stories are on page 7. So again, I'm encouraging you to go outside there and purchase your copy of this publication, the Newsday newspaper, available at all leading newsstands. Penal fire leaves a family of 4 homeless, and tilted light pole threatening La Saiva roadworks removed. Those stories on page 9 of today's edition of the Newsday newspaper. Go outside there and purchase your copy this morning, people. Griffith seeks clarity on COVID-19 laws for private parties. Well, if the Commissioner of Police is not too clear as to the COVID-19 laws, what is expected of you, the average citizen of Trinidad and Tobago? And you have some police officers outside there who are waiting to pounce on you. They too are not too clear as what this COVID-19 laws is saying to them, how you can go about enforcing and prosecuting. And in a related story, MP bar owners COVID-19 rules on private parties too vague. Similarly, it's a point I would have made in the last couple of days. Subhas Pandey on Bayside Party. Now, Subhas Pandey was a former minister in the Ministry of National Security. Law tilted in favor of wealthy. Now, it's something, as I said, we're going to look at this morning. Cabinet appointment gazetted. Those stories are on page 11 of today's edition of the Newsday newspaper. So those are about some of the stories, as I said, published in today's edition of the Newsday newspaper. I'm encouraging you to go outside there and purchase your copy of this publication. It is priced at only $3 and it's available at all leading newsstands throughout Trinidad and Tobago. The Newsday newspaper, priced at only $3. Let's go to some commercials, and yes, when I come back, well, we'll open the lines. This morning I want to talk about some cricket, because yes, cricket would have captured the imagination of the population for the past 3 weeks, and kudos ought to be given to the organizers of this tournament. But I have a caller here on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Good morning to our listeners.
And good morning to you, Bawani.
Well, lots to talk about.
Well, yes, certainly. Well, I want to talk about cricket here in the rain. Yes, go ahead.
Well, the cricket was nice. I thought the Zooks lost it when they brought on this new leg spinner, the young leg spinner,
Javel, yeah,
whatever his name was. And also when Keswick Williams, one of the supposed to be leading bowlers, just, was taken apart. But all in all, they did post a challenging score. But, the TKR had other ideas, and Simmons, who started the tournament rather disastrously, came to the party in the last 4 to 5 games. And, of course, the Darren Bravo held his own. So congrats to TKR for winning the tournament.
It was a historic victory indeed.
Yes.
No doubt it's precedent being set. It's the first time in the history of the Caribbean Premier League that one team would have played unbeaten.
Yes.
And this team also too would have captured 4 titles.
So let me be honest, they did not do a Guyana on us.
No, and more than that too, it says a lot, this victory. It says a lot about the leadership of the Trinbago Knight Riders, the management of the Trinbago Knight Riders, Colin Board. It tells a lot about him, Kyron Pollard, the senior players on the team.
It was a whole team effort.
Dwayne Bravo, Sunil Narayan. So and even Darren Sammy, he was very gracious in defeat, where he gave kudos to the management structure of the Trinbago Knight Riders and the fact that they would have played with passion. Having said that, they would have gone back to the drawing board and charted a way forward after their semi-final defeat against the Tridents last year. Anyway, go ahead. I've said
now,
it.
If you notice too that Narayan and Monroe did not play in yesterday's game. So the question is, who would you have dropped?
No, well, the thing about it, if you play sports, Bhavani, and I'm sure that those people who play sports outside there, especially team games, would appreciate that your strength in any team game lies with your bench.
Yes.
If you understand my drift of argument. Yeah. So on the bench, you have players who can walk into the team and actually perform to a certain level. And one must also take into consideration that Dwayne Bravo would have been nursing some sort of a physical challenge. Hence the reason why he did not bowl. And in this respect, you had Kyron Pollard coming in and filling that gap and walking away with 4 wickets.
He almost walked away with 5.
Yeah. So
but good competition. I'm beginning to miss it already.
No, well, it tells you something. It tells you something. I'll say this to you. When Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, and I'm being political here this morning, when Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley gave his blessings for this tournament to be hosted in this country, there was this hue and cry from a number of people outside there, even the opposition leader, Kamla Prasad Bisesa,
Of course.
And this morning, I'm going through social media, and I'm looking at all of those quote-unquote hypocrites who vex loss, singing praises to the organizers, singing praises to our cricketers, the Trinbago Knight Riders, of course, for scoring and coming away with a historic victory.
Yes.
Utter disgusting. These people raise the red flag. Do not have the tournament.
They say you're studying CPR players more than you study nationals and all kind of drama.
But even you too, Bhavani, you would have questioned that.
Well, I wanted the cricket.
Yeah.
I wanted the cricket. I mean, yes, you would question it in your heart.
Well, it shows that there are a number of people outside there who wash them out, who like to make comments, and they don't have an idea, they don't have a clue as to what is going on. Yeah, none of them.
Well, congrats again to the management.
No, let me... Do you know it was very difficult yesterday to even get close to the players?
Yeah.
But I won't tell you why. Do you know that there were so many restrictions in this tournament?
Yes, yes. Even the media interviews thereafter was very, very, very...
And that's the point I am making. So people must appreciate what is being done. And for people now, especially opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa, singing the praises of the Trinbago Knight Riders, job well done. While she would have been one of the very first to raise a red flag over this tournament and it being hosted in Trinidad.
Yeah, because she is the leader. She was the leader at the time. And whatever the leader says, sometimes many of us follow stupidly, not blindly.
So I want to hear those people this morning. They will shun away from me this morning. But I'm calling them out. Set
Well,
of hypocrite.
Very interesting one, the Bayshore pool party.
Yeah.
To me, the law is quite clear. If more than 5 people are gathered together, then they should be dispersed or warned or whatever the case might be. Now, I heard
No, you are saying that the law is quite clear, but even the Commissioner of Police is saying that it's not quite clear.
Right.
Even Subhas Pandey, former minister in the Ministry of Finance, is saying there's a lot of ambiguity in it.
Yeah, when I say it's quite clear, I mean that, okay, you can't congregate with more than 5 people. Public or private space is another story. But I heard the Attorney General saying, well, you know, when we had, well, he didn't say it in this way. He said, well, we had some gathering in ECC, back at San Fernando, and the police come on one way, right? So from, and all of that to say that, look, if it says you cannot gather in groups more than 5, wherever, except in your house, because you may have more than 5 people living in your house, you understand? And to know the kind of gathering you had, it wasn't a funeral, it wasn't nothing of that nature. It was a poolside party.
But
so somebody had to organize.
No, but your thoughts in Subhas Pandey saying this law is geared or framed to favor the rich?
Well, I wouldn't go so strong, but you know, people have preferences sometimes. Sometimes you might see a group of people and say, well, they don't go, and sometimes you might see a group and last them, because remember the 61 people they hold on, they charge on between Sunday night and Monday morning.
And remember there was a party, a group of people, I think there was a 30 odd or so, somewhere in Valsayn.
Yeah. And then remember Tuesday they say, well, we wasn't charging, we was warning people.
Yeah. So what's the point on drafting a law, getting it assented to, getting it passed, and just to warn people?
Exactly, that doesn't make no sense.
Because there's just mamagaini people of Trinidad and Tobago.
So it might be appropriate for some constituencies to have the law and some not to have it.
No, but the point I'm making here this morning is the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, is calling on the Attorney General and the Ministry of Health and the authorities to clarify this.
Yeah.
There must be no grey matter. It must be that black and white.
Yeah. People just want to interpret things to their own way, and even the politicians get caught in the action. Understand? All right,
Bawani. Well, thanks very much for your contribution here with me this morning. Yeah, I want to talk about some cricket here this morning. Well, the Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders would have produced a record-winning victory yesterday down at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Morning, Jerry.
Hi, good morning to you, sir.
Boy, I want to tell you, Frank, I know started West Cricket.
Why, boy?
The cricket done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to wait out to IPL 18th of September or something. So.
No, well, look, this Caribbean Premier League, the Hero Caribbean Premier League hosted in this country, gave the citizens of this country, especially sports lovers and cricket lovers, an avenue to relax. And it's certainly the victory yesterday brought a smile to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, I enjoy myself. I can enjoy myself. I can enjoy the cricket.
And
when this cricket, when the Prime Minister announced this cricket, I was happy about it.
No, a number of people outside there resisted and raised a red flag. Don't get carried away, you know.
Then is a waste of time.
Don't get. Well, I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for them this morning.
Then is a waste of time. They were only trying to. Let me tell you something, you know what they was trying?
No, and hold on, because kudos would have been showered to the organizers, the government of the day, by extension, the Ministry of National Security, the Ministry of Health, for the manner in which this tournament was conducted.
And you know, I hear nobody get coronavirus in that whole thing.
And you see, it escapes some people outside here, who always tend to raise the red flag over everything. They always like to be critical. Hold on. I spoke with a number of people yesterday. I would not tell you where.
No.
And I spoke to them, and they said, Mr. Jags, this tournament would have provided an opportunity for us to make some money.
Exactly.
On the field and out of the field.
Exactly. I know that. And you see that people in this country only want to damage everything that is good. You never see the good in it, except that when they damage it, they say, right, that is important. We damage it and that is it.
And hold on. And this morning, they're in high praise of the organizers. Their high praise of the level of cricket played.
I call that hypocritical when people talking. Like, I know all of them. I know when all of them were talking that are we grieving to see a little cricketer and all that kind of thing. Are you to relax?
Some of the views being shared. Stop the cricket. Do not host the cricket.
And today they come out and praising the Night Riders and all that. Anyway, let me tell you, let me give you a little joke. I feel, don't laugh at it. I feel when Cornwall out, I feel the fellow lose the game. That is my whole explanation about the thing. Unless, I don't know, I don't know if they will come at our next team next time, they will be different or what they will be.
No, but he can only play one way, you know. Is it he clubbed the ball or he gets out?
Kenneth, I thought they would have given him a 2 overs to bowl. But I don't know why they didn't give him a 2 overs to bowl or the case maybe or whatever.
But anyway, I won't voice my opinion on that. But
no, but let me give you one little thing again. Kenneth, you see this marijuana thing? Kenneth, people have to understand that there is a drug that will make people get mad. Imagine that the parts are built for 4 trees, Kenneth. And this woman have an acre in she house. And she's the one piloting the thing for people to get this and people to get that. Drugs that really get you crazy, boy. I go on with that, okay, just no take time later.
All right, friend. Well, thank you very much for your contribution here with me this morning. We're heading up to the hour of 7 o'clock. It's just about 28 minutes here to the hour of 7. And that time check came to you to the kind courtesy of a radio 975 FM, hot like pepper. Yeah, and a number of hypocrites outside there are waiting for them to call me this morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Yeah, morning, Mr. Jagannath, all the listeners and callers.
Good morning to you, Belmont.
Now, I don't agree with you on one point.
What's the point?
Now, if Mrs. Bisesa, as leader of the opposition, objected 2 or 3 months ago about the cricketers coming here at the close down period and because of the COVID and so on, and if they came and the affair was successful and Trinidad has won, that don't make what you will call a hypocrite.
Hold on.
At the time she objected on the grounds of what is going on, and it came through and it was successful. So, and now it is in order for her to congratulate the team, but that don't mean that she should have agreed then. Thank you very much, best wishes.
Well, thank you very much. I never said the woman or the opposition leader is a hypocrite. I said those people outside there who would have raised a red flag. What I'm saying, I find it very strange that today those very same people who would have resisted this tournament being hosted in Trinidad, who would have resisted or took issue with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley for giving the blessings, today they are singing the praises of the organizers and the praises of the players. That's all I'm saying this morning. And how do you view that? That's your own determination. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
Morning, Kenrick.
Hi, good morning, sir. Good morning.
Let me just lower down my radio a little bit, please.
Yeah.
Yes, Kenrick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I know I'm hearing a lot of people praising the team and Trinidad and Tobago and the Prime Minister wouldn't take that St. Lucia and all this kind of thing. Even coming praises from the Minister of Tourism, from the Minister of Sport, even the opposition leader praising him. The only thing Trinidad and Tobago about that team, Kenrick, is the first part of the name, Trinbago, because the Night Riders was taken from the Calcutta Night Riders. The sponsor of that team is Shah Rukh Khan, who also sponsored the Calcutta Night Riders. The tournament was thrown by foreign people, not locals, right? It's foreigners who are putting on this thing. And most of the teams, or at least all of the teams, have a lot of foreign players involved in it. You understand? The Trinidad and Tobago, the only thing that I'm sure they had to pay for the facilities at the Queen's Park Oval and at the Brian Lara Stadium also. So this is not really, and you see, that is why when this tournament was conceptualized, Anil Roberts, who was the Minister of Sports at the time, objected to the name Trinidad and Tobago being used. Because when you have the Big Bash in Australia, you don't use Australia, so on Australia. They use Perth, they use Adelaide, they use Melbourne. You understand? Those are, and similarly in India, you have Mumbai and you have Calcutta and you have all the different states. They use those names, not India, because that is this team playing here is not a Trinidad and Tobago team. Because on our way to victory, we beat the Patriots.
No. You're talking utter rubbish. I'll tell you why. So what you're saying, the Kolkata Knight Riders do not represent Kolkata or Calcutta as you would say it. The Hyderabad, all these teams that carry the name does not represent those jurisdictions. That's what you're saying. You see, people will form their own opinion. This is the way cricket is. Even Manohar Ramsaran would have resisted this CPL. This is the way the world is. This is the way cricket, the direction cricket is going in the world. So Trinidad and Tobago would have gained from this. Do you know over 1 billion people in Asia would have viewed this game? Marketing Trinidad and Tobago, marketing the Caribbean. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
You cut me off, Kenny? Did you cut me off?
No, I didn't cut you off. I thought you were through with me. Go ahead.
No, man, I ain't true. Well, if the same thing happens, billions of people around the world watch the IPL too.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not talking.
And you have no team, no India, you don't have no India, nothing.
All right. So, what is your contention here this morning regarding the Caribbean Premier League?
I am saying that the Caribbean Premier League, nothing is wrong with it, and I pray, and I'm not going to take anything away from Kyron Pollard and his team. But the fact of the matter is, this had hardly anything to do with Trinidad and Tobago. This was a tournament that was put on by foreigners, you understand? And the teams are comprised of people from all over the world, from New Zealand, from India, from Bangladesh, all over. You understand? And the fact that the name Trinbago Knight Riders doesn't mean that has anything much to do with Trinidad. Because the Knight Riders name, the people who sponsor the Knight Riders, Trinbago Knight Riders is a foreigner, it's Farouk Khan. You understand? It's not as if Trinidad and Tobago sponsor anything. All we do is just lay down the logistics to make the game possible with the Ministry of Health and whoever. But it's not that Trinidad and Tobago could claim any big victory out of this because you're playing Patriots and you have Dinesh Ramdeen, you have people like Nicholas Puran.
No, I had to cut you off. You know why? Because apparently you do not understand what franchise cricket is all about. You are saying that Trinidad and Tobago did not play a role in this, that the authorities in Trinidad and Tobago did not play a role. Well, first of all, the CPL had to get the blessings of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. The CPL, that is the Caribbean Premier League, and the organizers used the Hilton Hotel, a state-owned facility. The organizers of this tournament is the Caribbean Premier League. Trinidad and Tobago played a great part in this through the Ministry of National Security, through the Ministry of Tourism. Trinidad and Tobago was marketed. You have to look at the plus. This is franchise cricket. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
Show up then.
No. These fellas will take issue with me this morning because opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa and her supporters, some of them, they raised the red flag over the hosting of this tournament. They would have expected that something untoward would have happened in this tournament.
Exactly, everybody would have feel that would have happened.
Now that the tournament is over and successfully, of course, they have nothing else to say. They are talking about, well, it shouldn't be Trinbago Knight Riders. Well, maybe it should be Penal Knight Riders. That is what they are saying this morning. I don't understand these people at all.
So we Sipaya Knight Riders, it would be better if it was Sipaya Knight Riders. All of them would have been jumping up. But the point about it...
I am not true. Here it is, you have young men showcasing their skills, nationals of this country. Darren Bravo, exactly. Dwayne Bravo, Lendell Simmons, Akil Hussein, Carrie Pierre, and I could go on and on.
But
hold on. No, let me finish. And I'll give you extra time. Yeah. Here it is, you have young men marketing their skills, showcasing their skill to the world, giving them an opportunity to make some money, to make a livelihood. And these people talking once at a crap this morning? That Trinidad and Tobago has nothing to gain from this, or gain nothing?
Well, at time I thought the way it was going on before this competition started, I said the man would have done with this competition, but thank God the fella have a little patience. Look, you just saying billion of people watching this cricket match. Who they looking at? They seen Pollard, they seen Bravo, they seen Simmons, they see.
And and hold on, let's go further. A number of corporate companies, big companies in this country, would have been part of that Caribbean Premier League.
Exactly. Look, I want to listen to the cricket on our radio station. If you see sponsors come out and giving our radio station to carry live broadcast and all them things, and how people get, I can understand how people talk so much.
So people saying this morning that Trinidad and Tobago did not gain anything from this.
How you mean?
Our culture would have been showcased to the world.
Well, yeah, no, man. But let me tell you something. If you didn't have coronavirus, you'd have seen bacanas. But anyway, God alone knows why he put coronavirus down here to shut all of them up. Later part.
No, the thing about it, and I make no apologies for what I'm about to say. A number of people would have expected that this entire series or this entire tournament would have been fraught with problems. That things untoward would have happened. But nothing happened. Not even the gods would have been good to the Caribbean Premier League and its organizers. And I say that, you know why I'm saying that to you? Because of the weather pattern. Only one game was interrupted by the weather. Let's take this call on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Morning, Kenrick.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Right. Congratulations to TKR. I think yesterday's final was a very, very good final.
Yes, it was. It was indeed a very good final.
The Zooks played a very good match. They really, I mean, at certain points in the game, they had TKR under the gun.
Well, this was the only fixture that actually tests the mettle of the Trinbago Knight Riders batting lineup.
Not and the bowling lineup, because the first turn was real pressure.
and mind you, we went into this game minus Sunil Narayan, Colin Monroe, and even though Bravo was on the field, he was not able to bowl because of some challenge. Yes.
Can we call up before the last, right?
Yeah.
When the UNC taking people outside of your locality to bring them to fight election, how come they don't object to that? No, because you're talking about TKR is the competition is owned by foreigners and foreign players, all that. Nothing wrong with that. When we want representation, I want representation from somebody in my community. You agree with me? Why take a man from Chabonas and send him nothing? Why take a man from Cuba and put him Princess Song? so people, and when a former prime minister taking billions of dollars in toys from an Indian exposed man, they don't object to that. Some people really,
No. And
politics is strong people,
I'm not criticizing Nicola, but somehow I feel some of these people outside, they do not understand what franchise cricket is all about.
Well, let me explain that. If after 10 years,
the gentleman is saying that Trinidad and Tobago has nothing to let's say, gloat about. Really?
But even if the whole team is comprised of foreigners, the team carries Trinidad and Tobago.
Hold on. You have to look out of the box. Here it is, this competition or this tournament would have presented an opportunity for a commentator like Darren Ganga, Samuel Badri, to showcase their skills to the world.
That's right. And they did a very good job.
To market themselves.
Kenrick, another point? This game was highly viewed, or the tournament was highly viewed.
You see,
a high viewership in India.
And I made that point just now. I said over 1 billion people in Asia would have viewed this game. Do you know also too, my friend, that the Caribbean Premier League, this tournament, it's the on the list, it's the 5th marketable television program in Asia.
Well, I don't know, but I would think this Caribbean Premier League may be in the top 3 tournaments, IPL. I mean T20 tournaments.
But you see, it's some of these people cannot appreciate and understand what went on into this tournament. How much organization? Some of them never even organize a barbecue or excursion,
more important.
The challenges it will take the organizers to put this tournament together in this COVID environment.
Yes, and can I more importantly, if it wasn't done by UNC, it's not good.
Yeah.
Right, but people might say anything, but I want to congratulate Dr. Rowley. I think the little Caribbean banter with Mr. Chestnut was good.
Well, that's okay.
I know some people might criticize it, but it wasn't. It's good, and in times of stress like this, you need a little banter. Mm-hmm. Take care. Bye.
All right, my friend. Well, thank you very much for your contribution here with me this morning. Yeah, I mean, we need to gloat. Trinidad and Tobago would have been showcased to the world. We would have had young men representing us, showcasing their skill, making themselves more marketable. Young cricketers. I don't know how many of people outside there know about people like of Jid Guli, Amar Django, and so on, even Mark Dial, even though they would have played for different franchises. How many of them know them outside there? Jaden Searles, young Guyanese cricketers, Kevin Sinclair, Ashmead Ned, young cricketers showcasing their skills to the world. We need to gloat. The tournament was held in a bubble in very challenging times. The organizers came out smelling like a rose. Trinbago Knight Riders would have won the tournament, a historic one indeed. Why do we want to belittle the tournament? Why? Saying to me it did nothing for Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago was not showcased. Trinidad and Tobago was not involved. You see, if you involve an organization, you will know the role of the Ministry of National Security, the role of PTSC, the role of the Ministry of Tourism. Then you would appreciate what really transpired in the tournament. Anyway, yes, so a historic win for the Trinbago Knight Riders. This as they whipped the Zooks yesterday by 8 wickets. Just let me remind you of the scores. Well, having been sent into bat, the Zooks scored 154 with Mark Dial. Yes, our very own Mark Dial, a national of this country, showcasing his skill. Opening with Raheem Cornwall, he posted 29. Andre Fletcher, 39. Roston Chase, 22. Nabidullah Zadran, 24. 154 in 19.1 overs. And Trinidad Knight Riders would have raced to that title, would have raced to the score, crossed the line in 18.1 overs. 84 not out from Lendell Simmons and 58 from Darian Bravo. Why do we want to belittle it? Why? Because people took issue with me this morning when I said that a number of people would have raised the red flag over this competition, over this tournament. Criticized Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, the government of the day, for hosting and for giving the blessings for this tournament. Today, they are singing praises. Anyway, people may not agree with me this morning. I might take serious issue with what I'm saying, but that's all right. That's okay. I can take that. Anyway, it's just about 12 minutes here to the hour of 7 o'clock, and that time check came to you through the kind courtesy of Radio 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. Stay with us here, 975.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liqueur, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liqueur, wholesale and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio is now on Facebook. Like us, follow and share our page. We'll be sharing the latest news, tips and much more. You can also view what's happening in our studio. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel at RCL U975.
Gosh, boy, I can't wait to go home now.
Stuck in traffic again, Hare Babri.
Well, guess what? Your day is about to get hotter than ever in the afternoon. It's the new afternoon drive time program on you 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Tune in Monday to Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with yours truly, the DJ Flavia Experience. Let's make it hotter than ever in the afternoon. Great music, great info, and great vibes. Hotter than ever in the afternoon. Monday to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. on you 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
Can't go anywhere to enjoy yourself? Well, join us on 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio, as we got your Saturdays covered. The party starts from 8 a.m. Yes, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We got Sharon Baruch alongside DJ Vishal. 12 to 3 p.m. Captain Kendall is in full flight and will take you straight into 3 to 6 as DJ Anil will put you into the mix. Then from 6 to 9, the man DJ Sean, half man, half amazing, takes the spotlight from 6 to 9. And from 9 to 1, the man Corky D steps into the building and he will mix it up for you into the morning. Tune in, log on 975radio.com as we put you in the party mood with all of our DJs and announcers. Tell your friends, tell your family, 975radio.com.
Greeted in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Praise Him, praise Him.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back to 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. Just about 8 minutes here to the hour of 7 o'clock, and that time check came to you to the kind KTC of Radio 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. You can call me this morning on 636-7547, 227-5739, and you can also WhatsApp us at 378-4975. We're also live on YouTube at RCL U975. Let's take this call on the line. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 975. Good morning.
Morning. Let me make one point again with the CPL.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the three biggest cricket broadcasters in the world? Star Sports in India, Sky Sports Cricket in Europe, and Willow TV in North America. Good?
Yeah.
And you know those three broadcasters was carried every CPL match live?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Right. So when people talking about no benefit, you have the three biggest cricket broadcasters in the world broadcasting this live, and people in a COVID lockdown all over the world. What do you think they're going to do?
No, that too, my friend, should emphasize the point I am making. The organizers of this tournament, the Caribbean Premier League, or the organizers of this tournament, knows fully well the financial returns of hosting this tournament in the Caribbean. You know that, yes?
Right, that's true. And the last point I want to make, the organizers have to be credited. I mean, to date, it hasn't been, nobody within that bubble has contracted COVID, or the tournament would have been locked down, correct?
Well, this is what probably some people outside there would have been hoping for,
Yeah, and also,
you see, in this country, my friend, we are so divided. We are so divided that even when something good happens, we look to criticize it too.
Yeah, but God, I'm so sorry. But Kamala asked them to do a recount yesterday with the win, but the umpire ruled against it.
I hear you, my friend. Anyway, let's prepare for the 7 o'clock newscast with Nicole Duki. Note that at around 7:30, I'll be hosting the President General of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, Mr. Nirvan Maraj. But as we prepare for the newscast, let me leave you with this for a while. Why is it?
DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo. Champion, 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 champion. Everybody knows say Bravo a champion, 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 champion. Everybody know Chris Cale is a champion. Beanie a champion, Bounty a champion, Marshall is a champion, Bungie is a champion, Pollard is a champion, Lara is a champion, Gale is a champion. Don't forget Michael Jordan, Obama a champion, Mandela a champion, Serena a champion, Wendy a champion, Shelly and a champion, 958 Bolt a champion. Champion, 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 champion. Everybody knows say Bravo a champion, 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 champion. Everybody know Chris Cale is a champion. Come on, come on. Champion, me a real champion. Champion, me a real champion. Champion, me a real champion. Don't vex if your name not call. Me a feel it time for bat some ball. We love soccer and dancehall. We love cricket and football. Come a dance in a my name and call. Champion, champion. Every trainee and every hard man. Champion, champion. Every BC and every Bayesian. Champion, champion. Every trainee and every hard man. Champion, champion. Beanie a champion, Bounty a champion, Marshall is a champion, Bungie is a champion, Pollard is a champion, Lara is a champion, Gale is a champion. Don't forget Michael Jordan, Obama a champion, Mandela a champion, Serena a champion, Wendy a champion, Shelly and a champion, 958 Bolt a champion. Champion, 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 champion. Everybody knows say Bravo a champion, 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 champion. Everybody know Chris Cale is a champion. Chris still a champion.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liquor, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liquor, wholesale and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
To you, Newsday Classifieds. Take Value Optical to be your partner.
I do.
I do.
I now pronounce free eye test from Value Optical for Newsday Classified customers. Call the Newsday Classified reps for more information. You may now kiss the bride.
Can't go anywhere to enjoy yourself? Well, join us on 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio, as we got your Saturdays covered. The party starts from 8 a.m. Yes, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We got Sharon Baruch alongside DJ Vishal. 12 to 3 p.m. Captain Kendall is in full flight and will take you straight into 3 to 6 as DJ Anil will put you into the mix. Then from 6 to 9, the man DJ Sean, half man, half amazing, takes the spotlight from 6 to 9. And from 9 to 1, the man Corky D steps into the building and he will mix it up for you into the morning. Tune in, log on 975radio.com as we put you in the party mood with all of our DJs and announcers. Tell your friends, tell your family, 975radio.com.
Time has come. New 97.5
FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
We are engaged and
This is the 7 a.m. news on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I am Nicole Dookie. Good morning. 3 additional COVID-19 related deaths have been recorded. According to the Ministry of Health, the persons are an elderly male with comorbidities, an adult male with comorbidities, and another adult male. This brings the total number of COVID-19 related deaths to 43. 35 additional persons have also tested positive for the virus, including 3 persons who were housed at the Police Training Academy. The cases also include results from samples taken during the period August 29th to September 9th, 2020. There are now 1,900 active cases of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago. Citizens can continue to access medication through the Chronic Disease Assistance Program. The assurance comes from the Ministry of Health as it sought to allay the fears that the initiative was being stopped. A letter to the editor appearing in a daily newspaper called on Health Minister Terence Dial Singh to leave the program alone. The ministry advised that the minister at no time indicated that the CDAP initiative would be stopped. The ministry said citizens can rest assured that they can continue to receive their medication to address chronic non-communicable diseases via CDAP. The CDAP program is available to all citizens. President of the Association of Principals of Public Secondary Schools, Ronald Mutu, said that there are some challenges with the new system of learning. However, he said that things are being put in place to address these challenges.
We are engaged and many of us are still engaged in the planning process. We are trying very hard to reach some of the parents and some of the students that for some reason we don't have working numbers for them or even addresses for them. And we have to use secondary measures. Some of us are using the SSSD to help us with that. And we are putting things in place.
Mr. Mutu said that there has been a high rate of attendance thus far. He made the comments in an interview with the media yesterday.
Of our schools, around half, maybe more than just over half of our schools have already engaged students on the online platforms, and most schools are reporting a very high level of attendance, over 98%, 1 or 2 schools even 100%. And this augurs well, really, for the rest of this year, and not only for the rest of this year, but for the blended learning process generally.
In some other news, police said 12 people were taken into custody in connection with gang-related offences. The 12, who are between the ages of 18 and 56, were held yesterday morning during a police operation. The operation was carried out by officers of the Northern Division. The operation also included officers attached to the NDTF West, NDTF East, NDTF Central, Tunapuna Warrant Staff, La Hakata Crime Patrol, and K9 Unit. Police said between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. officers went to several homes in El Dorado and Tunapuna where they conducted the searches, leading to the detention of the 12 suspects. A 40-year-old woman was also detained on an outstanding time-allowed commitment arrest warrant. You are listening to the 7 a.m. news on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. It's time now to take a look at regional and international developments. We begin with news from the region. 7 events will be held over a week to mark Antigua and Barbuda's 39th anniversary of political independence from the United Kingdom. Minister of Sports, Culture, National Festival and the Arts Daryl Matthew announced that independence events will be scaled back due to the coronavirus pandemic. The events will begin on Sunday 25th October and end on Monday 2nd November. The calendar of events will feature the Independence Thanksgiving service, National Heroes Day ceremony, Golden Age events, National Dress Day, a virtual Independence Calypso competition, the ceremonial parade and honors ceremony, and Barbuda Day activities. Internationally, India and China have agreed to quickly disengage from a standoff that have seen gunfire at a disputed border and accusations of kidnapping. Their foreign ministers met on Thursday and said that they would ease tension. Soldiers from both countries have periodically skirmished along the poorly demarcated border called the Line of Actual Control. Both sides have accused each other of straying into their territory, and the clashes have sometimes turned deadly. A joint statement from the neighbors said the current situation is not in the interest of either side. They added that they would not expedite new measures that would maintain and enhance peace and tranquility, but did not explain further what these would entail. The two countries have already had an agreement which bans the use of firearms along the border. In news of the weather for the period today until midnight, Trinidad, Tobago and the Leeward Islands, hot with partly cloudy skies, occasionally becoming cloudy with showers, some of which can become heavy and thundery. Gusty winds and street flash flooding can be expected in areas of heavy showers. The Windward Islands generally hot and sunny despite a few isolated showers. Tonight will be mostly fair. Seas are moderate with waves up to 2 meters in open waters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. The current temperature is 24 degrees Celsius. And that brings us to the end of the 7 a.m. newscast on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Stay tuned for another newscast at 8 a.m. I am Nicole Dookie. Good morning.
That was Major News to the Hour, brought to you with the very kind compliments of Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Lisha Limited, the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday, and Darban Trading Company Limited. A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited of 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo for all your hardware materials from foundation to finish. Not forgetting all your general contracting needs. We have it all at A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited, located at 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo. Just call Tiki Ali at 650-2180.
A&S Hardware are wholesalers and retailers of plywood, an assortment of lumber, galvanized pipe, hollow section and steel. Customers can enjoy special prices on white pine and pitch pine doors.
Darban Trading Supermarket and Investments Limited for all your grocery items, wholesale and retail. At Darban, you can also transfer money, pay your bills, and also cash your social welfare checks. Darban Trading Supermarket and Investments Limited, located at number 28 Foster Road, Sangre Grande. They also specialize in real estate, and they also have a special on land at Arena Road, Freeport, for just $165,000 per plot. For further information, call Darban Trading Supermarket and Investments Limited at 267-3063 or 223-0630. Darban Trading Supermarket and Investments Limited of number 28 Foster Road, Sangre Grande.
To you, Newsday Classifieds. Take Value Optical to be your partner.
I do.
I now pronounce free eye test from Value Optical for Newsday Classified customers. Call the Newsday Classified reps for more information. You may now kiss the bride.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
For quality items,
Visit Super Quality Supermarket of Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, as well as Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket, Cuba Car Park, for all your grocery items, liquor, fresh fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting their bed and bath section, and kitchen appliances for your home. With so many items to choose from, take advantage of our great prices and discounts at any of our 3 locations: Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Cuba. For quality items, Super Quality Supermarket and Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket.
U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio is now on Facebook. Like us, follow and share our page. We'll be sharing the latest news, tips and much more. You can also view what's happening in our studio. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel at RCL U97.5.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back to 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. Just about 12 minutes here past the hour of 7 o'clock, and that time check came to you through the current KTC of Radio 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. I just want to stay with this story a bit. That is the Trinbago Knight Riders' victory yesterday down at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Yes, the Trinbago Knight Riders would have whipped the St. Lucia Zooks by 8 wickets to score a historic victory. Historic in the sense, 4 titles, and playing unbeaten throughout the tournament. And to this end, owner of the franchise, the Trinbago Knight Riders, that is Shah Rukh Khan, this is what he said. And I'm saying this to all those people who would have raised a red flag or who would have expressed concern over the hosting of this tournament in this country. Thank you, Trinidad and Tobago and the CPL for the tournament. Khan commented the performance of the players and staff of the TKR. Now, Kamala Prasad Visesa, when the tournament was given the blessings by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, she too raised the red flag. She too raised concern. Well, everybody's free to share their opinion. Now, this is what she would have had to say after the victory yesterday by the TKR. Listen to this. Well done, TKR. Congratulations to Trinbago Knight Riders on an amazing unbeaten campaign which ensured that they captured their 4th Caribbean Premier League title today. Prasad Visesa, who expressed concerns about holding the tournament in Trinidad and Tobago during the pandemic, said the victory was what the country needed. Quote, she said, quote, TKR's unbeaten run in this year's CPL offered great inspiration to us as citizens because it demonstrated the reward of teamwork, the value of never giving up, and the courage of being determined even when the going gets tough. TKR has given us more than just entertainment and national pride. This is to my caller there, national pride. They have instilled qualities which we all should live by in these uncertain times. Just thought I'd remind you of that this morning. And welcome to 975. Good morning.
Morning, my brother.
Good morning to you, my friend.
It was close to me, I hug you and give you a kiss for that this morning.
Why, boy? Because I'm speaking the truth? Or because some people might be offended by what I am saying this morning?
No, because we are free to speak the truth.
Well, I speak the truth, and who vexed us?
And I commend you. That I understand why I'm a guru. That's why he gets this kind of respect from this. Mr. Kendrick, thank you very much. Because
All right, my friend.
The same lady telling us now how great, how inspiring. So if we didn't hold this cricket, she would not get inspired.
Mm-hmm.
So thank God we hold the cricket so she get inspired that she could tell me all this, that she could try to hold on to the position that she had. That's what going on in
No, hold on. Just let me emphasize to you. Yesterday I spoke to one of the ground staff, so to speak, and he said, Mr. Jags, I have not worked since the month of March.
Oh Lord, thank God.
For the past 3 weeks, I am being paid, and I can put food on the table for my family. I can look after them. Thank God for the Caribbean Premier League and Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley for giving the blessings to host this tournament in Trinidad, more so down at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. And I say no more.
In India, we have 5 of the largest television stations tuning to watch the CPL. We became number 1 in India because of that. Thank you, Mr. Kenrick. And thanks to the Prime Minister. Enjoy your morning, my brother.
Well, thank you very much. No, a number of people would have been of the view or would have hoped that something untoward would have happened during this tournament, but it did not. And not enough praise can be showered on the officials and the organizers of this tournament. You see, the organizers of this tournament can only what you call draft policy, or give directive. It is local people who would have carried out those directives. And this is the point I'm making. Creating an opportunity for people to earn a livelihood, to put food on the table for their children. For young cricketers, how many of people outside there would have known of the name of Mark Dial, Amr Jangu? How many? How many people know of Ashmead Ned, Kevin Sinclair, Jovel Glenn? How many people? This tournament offered an opportunity for these young men to showcase their skills, to be more marketable, to make a livelihood. In the absence of this tournament, where would these young cricketers, what avenue would have been available for them to demonstrate to the national public and to the wider community their skills? Where? How? When? Why? You see, in this country, we tend to look, we need to think outside of the box. What is the bigger picture here? That's why I said when this tournament was given the blessings by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, it should be welcomed. It should be welcomed. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on with our conversation here this morning. And you can call us at 636-7547, 227-5739. Let me go to a very short commercial break. When I come back, I'll continue with my discussion with you. Stay with us here, 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper.
To you, Newsday Classifieds. Take Value Optical to be your partner.
I do.
I now pronounce free eye test from Value Optical for Newsday Classified customers. Call the Newsday Classified reps for more information. You may now kiss the bride.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
For quality items, visit Super Quality Supermarket of Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, as well as Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket, Cuba Car Park, for all your grocery items, liquor, fresh fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting their bed and bath section, and kitchen appliances for your home. With so many items to choose from, take advantage of our great prices and discounts at any of our 3 locations. Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and Cuba. For quality items, Super Quality Supermarket and Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket.
Greeting in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Can't go anywhere to enjoy yourself? Well, join us on 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio, as we got your Saturdays covered. The party starts from 8 a.m. Yes, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We got Sharon Baruch alongside DJ Vishal. 12 to 3 p.m. Captain Kendall is in full flight and will take you straight into 3 to 6 as DJ Anil will put you into the mix. Then from 6 to 9, the man DJ Sean, half man, half amazing, takes the spotlight from 6 to 9. And From 9 to 1, the man Corky D steps into the building and he will mix it up for you into the morning. Tune in, log on 975radio.com as we put you in the party mood with all of our DJs and announcers. Tell your friends, tell your family, 975radio.com.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back to 975 FM on Hot Like Pepper. It's just about 20 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock, and that time check came to you through the kind courtesy of Radio 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. Well, much has been said this week about that pool party down at Bayside Towers in West Moorings. And as a result of that, a number of people would have lent their voice to the conversation. And to this end, Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith, well, he too is seeking clarity on the COVID-19 laws. And unless there's no clarity, and this morning when I opened the program, I talk about a gray matter. There should be no gray matter in this. It's either black and white. Because you have some police officers outside there who may not be aware as to what the regulations state and may want to prosecute people. And at the end of this, after people would have taken issue with it, go to court, you'd find that the state had to now fork out money to pay these people. So there must be some sort of clarity in this matter. Subhas Pandit, a former minister in the Ministry of National Security, he made a very bold statement where he's saying that this law is tilted in favor of the wealthy. And based on what we would have seen within the last month or so, there are reasons why he would make such a comment. And listen to what Gary Griffith, the Commissioner of Police, is saying concerning this matter. Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith is also calling on the government for clarity on COVID-19 regulations. In a statement yesterday, he said, in terms of the regulation and in of themselves, we have sought and received a number of variations of interpretations, and we look forward to the government's clarity moving forward. Now, we're talking here about interpretation. So, are we saying it's a matter of interpretation? There must be clarity on it. Look, there must be clarity in this matter. And I'm hoping that maybe the Attorney General, the government of the day, and by extension, the Ministry of Health, could come clean on this matter with the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Too many gray matters in this. Ambiguity indeed. And so too, bar owners, they too are expressing concern. And probably sometime on Monday, I will get in touch with the Bar Owners Association President, Bar Owners Operators Association President, to get his thoughts on this matter. Let's take this call on the line. Hello, good morning. I'm sorry to miss your call, but you need to call us back at 636-7547, 227-5739, or you can simply WhatsApp us at 378-4975. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning to you.
The clarity is that the rich will always get away, and the poor will always have to pay the penalty, because the commissioner don't want to go behind these people because they probably well off, they probably have enough money to fight them in the court.
Yeah, they have long arms.
Yeah, so if it was like a block party in Lavantel or Princeton or San Fernando, where these people and them don't have no money, and the commissioner and the government realize that they really have no money to fight them, they'll lock up everybody.
Well, you see, the periscope now is on him. On him, and I'm putting forward my argument based on what would have transpired some month ago, where over 32 people would have been cautioned.
But the commissioner is not acting on his own.
No.
He's not. He's been influenced by politics also, because at the end of the day, I'm sure some big-time politicians, family or friend or whoever it is, probably involved in that fiasco.
Yeah, but what about the role here of the opposition in all of this? They gave this amendment the blessings, and now they are talking about this bad law.
Well, like everything else that they do, I mean, they don't have a voice, really, and truly, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, don't vote for the bloody thing.
Exactly.
Abstain, don't vote, but you supported the measure, and now you're raising a red flag over it.
That's a normandy with the opposition, as far as I'm concerned.
So, as it stands, what is your interpretation? And this is what the Commissioner of Police is talking about, interpretation.
The interpretation is, and just like all over the world, the people who have the money have to be subjected to these kinds of amendments by the commissioner and the government. The people who are poor have to feel the brunt of it. Have to.
All right, and hold on, stop right there. Let me throw your mind back to a couple of years ago when the DUI, the driving under the influence of alcohol, now came out. A number of people in rural Trinidad would have been charged some 4,000, 6,000, 8,000. The son of a prominent contractor was given a slap on the wrist.
Exactly. And it will never stop. This will never stop.
So that's
Because
why...
Let me give you a classic example.
No, hold on. That's why I am saying that maybe Subhas Pandey is right. The law is tilted in favor of the wealthy.
And it's not just the law. The law is tilted, yes, for the higher society. But it is meant to be broken for the people in the higher society. It is. Because from evidence, from years gone by, this is how it works. It doesn't work no other way. And the fact is, look what happened. Petrotrin has been shut down, and it was all mouthed by the opposition and so many media sources that A.V. Julian had a major part to play in what had happened. Where is all of that? Likewise, everything else it just goes behind the back door. We will talk, we will fuss about situations like these. But I think the time has to change, and a lot of people have to get up, and we have to fight these issues. I mean, they might come and lock us up because we may not have the money like the wealthy to fight them, but that is risk we have to take. Anyway, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you very much. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My interpretation of the law.
Yeah.
All right. I think that it is like any other crime. If it's a definition of public and private space. So if I'm in my home and a crime is committed, it depends on the complaint. The police can barge in, or they need a permit to enter my property. Right. So even if the crime is committed on a private property, I think the police can enter, but they just need the requisite documentation to enter.
No, but
right?
hold. That's not what I'm asking this morning. I'm asking this morning, what is your interpretation of this COVID law, more so as it relates to gathering? My interpretation, or what I understand, is that even in your private home, you cannot accommodate or entertain more than 5 people.
I agree with you. I interpret the same way too.
Right, and even though you're entertaining these 5 people, you ought to have social distancing, yes?
That is correct.
Right. Outside of that, if a complaint is made to the police, well, the police can either, let's say, issue a warning to you, or they can prosecute you.
Correct. But yes, they can, but they need a necessary legal permission or legal document to enter your home to observe that it is happening, or right? Because not only on hearsay. If a complaint is made, they need to enter and investigate, but they just can't barge in. They have to get a necessary warrant to enter.
Agreed.
Right? So I think with the video being shown, it's wrong, right? And it should be investigated, right? But to say you're going to lock them up, you can do that, but you need the necessary documentation to enter and arrest them. Right? Because what about a family? There are some families where you have, in some homes, 20 persons live in one because they have a house attached, mother downstairs, father, the children at the back. What do you do in a case like that when they gather? They're not supposed to gather. But can you really lock them up, but they live there?
So that's why I'm saying we need to be clear on this. And there's too much ambiguity in the law. And I agree with Subhas Pandey and who vexed me laws. The law is tilted in favor of the wealthy, where they are being given certain privileges. Certain people do not want to touch them because their arms are very long. And I make no apologies for saying that.
That might be right in some cases, but I think sometimes the wealthy are very knowledgeable about the law. The common man is not familiar with the law, and the rich can manipulate the law in different because they're familiar with it, right? And sometimes the poor not that educated, so they cannot probably execute in accordance. You know, the rich don't want to know.
No, but in this respect, the TTPS cannot discriminate. Yes.
Correct, I agree.
They cannot discriminate. You are there to protect everybody in Trinidad and Tobago. Your law is there for everyone, not only for a particular few or a selected few.
I agree with you, and I think we should look at each case on a case-by-case basis instead of painting all with one brush.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, I thank you very much for your thoughts with me this morning. Thank you very much. Well, it's just about 7:30 here in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and it's that time where I present to you our COVID feature for today. Note that this COVID feature is coming to you with the compliments of Barlow Engineering and Construction Services Limited. Let's thank the management and staff of Barlow Engineering and Services for partnering with us here at 975. Stay with us.
Time for your COVID-19 feature on U975, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. It's coming to you with the kind compliments of Barlow Engineering, Construction and Maintenance Services Limited.
Your hands up close are anything but smooth. With peaks and valleys, folds and rifts, there are plenty of hiding places for a virus to stick. If you then touch your face, the virus can infect you. But there are two extraordinarily simple ways you can keep that from happening: soap and water and hand sanitizer. So, which is better? The coronavirus that causes COVID-19 is one of many viruses whose protective outer surface is made of a lipid bilayer. These lipids are pin-shaped molecules whose heads are attracted to water and tails are repulsed by it. So, in water-rich environments, lipids naturally form a shell like this, with the heads outside and the tails inside. Their shared reaction to water makes the lipids stick loosely together. This is called the hydrophobic effect. This outer structure helps the molecular machinery of the virus break through cellular membranes and hijack our cells. But it has thousands upon thousands of weak points where the right molecules could pry it apart. And this is where soap comes in. A single drop of any brand of soap contains quadrillions of molecules called amphiphiles, which resemble biological lipids. Their tails, which are similarly repulsed by water, compete for space with the lipids that make up the virus's shell. But they're just different enough to break up the regularity of the virus's membrane, making the whole thing come crashing down. Those amphiphiles then form bubbles of their own around particles including the virus's RNA and proteins. Apply water and you'll wash that whole bubble away. Hand sanitizers work less like a crowbar and more like an earthquake. When you surround a coronavirus with water, the hydrophobic effect gives the bonds within the membrane their strength. That same effect also holds the big proteins that form coronavirus's spikes in place and in the shape that enables them to infect your cells. If you dry the virus out in air, it keeps its stability, but now surround it with a high concentration of an alcohol, like the ethanol or isopropanol found in most hand sanitizers. This makes the hydrophobic effect disappear and gives the molecules room to move around. The overall effect is like removing all of the nails and mortar from a house and then hitting it with an earthquake. The cell's membrane collapses and those spike proteins crumble. In either method, the actual process of destroying the virus happens in just a second or two, but doctors recommend at least 20 seconds of hand washing because of the intricate landscape that is your hand. Soap and sanitizer need to get everywhere, including your palms, fingertips, the outsides of your hands, and between your fingers to protect you properly. And when it comes to a coronavirus outbreak, doctors recommend washing your hands with soap and water whenever possible. Even though both approaches are similarly effective at killing the virus, soap and water has two benefits. First, it washes away any dirt which could otherwise hide virus particles. But more importantly, it's simply easier to fully cover your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Of course, hand sanitizer is more convenient to use on the go. In the absence of a sink, use the sanitizer as thoroughly as possible and rub your hands together until they're dry. Unfortunately, there are billions of people who don't have access to clean drinking water, which is a huge problem at any time, but especially during an outbreak. Researchers and aid groups are working to provide solutions for these communities. One example is a device that uses salt, water, and a car battery to make chlorinated water that kills harmful pathogens and is safe for hand washing. So wherever possible, soap and water are recommended for a coronavirus. But does that mean it's best for every viral outbreak? Not necessarily. Many common colds are caused by rhinoviruses that have a geometric protein structure called a capsid instead of a lipid membrane. The capsid doesn't have nearly as many weak points where soap amphiphiles can pry it apart, so it takes longer for soap to be effective. However, some of its surface proteins are still vulnerable to the destabilizing effect of hand sanitizer. In this and similar cases, hand sanitizer may be more effective, especially if you then wash your hands to remove residual particles. The best way to know which to use for any given outbreak is to do what's best for all things illness-related. Follow the advice of accredited medical professionals.
That was your COVID-19 feature on U975 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. It was brought to you courtesy Balo Engineering, Construction and Maintenance Services Limited.
Only the people can save the people. This is the mantra of the National Solidarity Assembly. Join its political leader and president of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, Nirvan Maharaj, as he invites you to join these organizations and other top executives on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper for 2 one-hour monthly features as they discuss the concerns and challenges facing the working class of this country, tackling the issues, generating bold talk, finding solutions, bringing the workers' agenda to the front burner, and providing a new vehicle. That's the NSA's mission. Be part of this informative panel discussion with operatives from the NSA. Only happening here on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper.
To you, Newsday Classifieds. Take Value Optical to be your partner.
I do.
I now pronounce free eye test from Value Optical for Newsday Classified customers. Call the Newsday Classified reps for more information. You may now kiss the bride.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back to 975 FM on Hot Like Pepper. As we move up to the hour of 7 o'clock, well, with me in the studio this morning is the President General of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union. as they continue to partner with us here at 97.5 to build capacity. Mr. Nirvan Maharaj, who is also an attorney at law, and there are some issues which I want to throw to him this morning to get his interpretation of this COVID law. Mask up, social distancing, private, public. And I'm sure he will have some information or give his own interpretation to such. But first of all, let me say a very good morning to you, Mr. Maharaj, and thanks for taking the time out again to be with us here this morning.
And a pleasant good morning to you, Ken, and of course to all the listeners out there.
And I know that you have a number of matters to deal with because you represent workers in various companies. And
yes.
This morning, and I would imagine you have to be engaged in some meetings and so on, yes?
Well, this morning I have a number of legal issues I need to deal with regarding clients, of course. That is, of course, a separate thing to the union. You know, I juggle my time between my law office and, of course, the union.
All right, so you are stating to us you do have a law office, yes?
Yes, I do, yes.
Apart from
I had a law office in San Fernando, but I moved it up to Cuba to make it a bit easier for convenience sake with regard to dealing with the union as well. So the law office itself is on the McBean stretch opposite the Learning Resource Center as well.
Well, there's an expectation that those in the fraternity, the law fraternity, would be bombarded or would be getting a number of quote-unquote clients based on what we are seeing in front of us. No. But in all seriousness, one of your colleagues, Subhasa Pandey, is saying that this COVID law is geared towards the wealthy. And he was making reference to what would have transpired down at Bayside Towers in West Moorings this week. What is your own interpretation of private as opposed to public?
Well, first of all, you mentioned this statement by Mr. Pandey, and of course you have to differentiate exactly what Mr. Pandey is saying. Is it that he's saying the law is weighed on the side of the wealthy, or is he saying that the COVID law specifically is weighed on the side of the wealthy? For centuries, and since I've known myself, for centuries and for generations, in different countries throughout the world, whether it be the UK, Europe, the United States, India, Pakistan, wherever it may be, it has always been said that the law is weighed on the side of the wealthy. And I gather that really is as a result of the wealthy being able to access legal assistance and legal help. More so than a poor man who do not have the resources to spend on proper legal representation. With regard to the COVID law and the public and private space, I listened to the conversation a bit, and a lady who called in was, I think, totally correct. Unless there's a complaint, if you are in your private space, for example, your own home, and you have a social gathering, I'm not talking about people who are living in the home. It is expected you can't put somebody out on the road to maintain 5. You can't put out 5 of your children and say 5 remain. So yes, there's some vagueness with regard to the law, and if you ask 1,000 lawyers what are their views on the law, you may very well get 1,000 different interpretations, because the law basically is not written as it is. It is not as it is seen as being written. It is basically left up to interpretation. So there is some vagueness, but I think the onus is also on the citizens of the country. The lady is correct. If a complaint is made, you are hosting a party in your home, for example, your private space. If a complaint is made, then the police will have the locus standi based on that complaint to intervene, because by doing so you are jeopardizing technically the national security. And when I say national security, I look at COVID as a war. Because you could endanger the lives of the public. But if there's no complaint, and if after the fact a video surfaces, then that changes the dynamic of the ability of the police to intervene and stop or warn. So basically, I think after listening to a lot of the comments, I think we are allowing our emotions and how we view things to get in the way of really sitting and objectively analyzing the different situations. And you are correct, Ken. I heard you talk about people who would have been charged in different parts of the country, in the rural areas and what have you. And the law is vague in that I have a concern about the police having the discretion to charge or warn. Because it means you could warn Bayshore Towers, but you could charge Penal, Laventille, and Debe.
And that is the contention.
And that is the contention, and that needs to be addressed immediately. And I am saying that the housing authority, the police commissioner, must issue to his officers the mandate that is either you warn everybody or you charge everybody. Full stop. But what is good for one must be good for all, and it cannot be that we are living up to the expectations of Animal Farm, that all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. So certainly I agree with you 100%, Ken, on that. In fact, I thought your statement was very valid. You cannot be selective in your judgment as to who to charge and who to warn. And that is the point. With regard to the Bayshore Towers, I am not certain about the when the video was made, when it was not made, because it seems to be after the fact. So I don't know what is the complaint about the police's inability to act on that. What I do know is that if you have a bar, for example, or you are in your private space and a complaint is made, then certainly the police can act. And I think to a very large extent, the police can't charge everyone. You can't totally police any law in the country, basically. It depends on the citizens as well. And I think to a very large extent, the citizens of this country are still not adhering as they should to proper rules and regulations in order to ensure the safety of themselves and their families. I would have passed by Deonaline Junction by a supermarket there, and I've seen many people without their mask up to this morning, actually. And the fact is, the police can only do so much, but the onus is also upon the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to do what is necessary. If your neighbor has a party home by them with 20 and 30 people, and you are sitting looking at that and complaining about the neighbor, but you cannot take up the telephone and make a call to the police station, and you are also culpable because you are allowing your emotions and friendship to get in the way of the good of the country, because this is a war. And I saw something on the newspapers yesterday or this morning, I believe, 43 persons would have died, and one did not have, or it is perceived that that person did not have any pre-existing medical condition. And that has raised a red flag for me, and it should for others as well. Because what it means is that if it means then that you can die from COVID without having the typical cliched hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, and what have you. So it means it could affect even the healthy as well, could die. And that is why the onus is upon us to also not blame the government and the police alone, but we have to blame ourselves as well. Yes, Ken?
This law came to the fore because moral suasion would have failed on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. The question here, or the matter, or the contention here is, what is the bigger picture? To discourage gathering en masse.
Correct.
No one is telling you do not socialize. Socialize in small groups of 5. Maintain social distancing, because the bigger picture here is to reduce the risk of spreading this virus.
And can the point, and the point is correct. You are totally correct. It is not every Sunday you need to have white oak and curry duck and 10 and 20 people home by you. The point I'm making is that you have to adapt to abnormal circumstances, and your socialization has to change. If you wish to still interact with people, you adhere to the regulations, the rules and regulations. There's nothing wrong with that. Let us hope, and we are all hoping that the time will come when we could go back to our normal way of living. But until such time, we are at war, and we have to adapt to this war that we are in.
But an ill-informed population, and a population that does not take things seriously, would say to you, Mr. Maraj, and to the authorities, well, if they could do it, I could do it.
And that
but fine, if they want to risk themselves, that does not mean to say you should contribute to the problem.
Correct, and that is where the rub comes in. You are saying, well, if they could do it, I could do it. But the fact is, what you are doing would be jeopardizing your health, your life, that of your children, your family, your neighbors, friends, and by extension, the community. And that is why we come back to the point. I am in total disagreement of the police having the ability to warn. Is either you charge or you don't charge.
Or you don't charge. That's why the law was drafted.
Charge or don't charge. But don't tell me that any police officer out there, Tom, Dick, and Harry Paul, or whoever it may be, each one of them have a separate discretion to be used selectively. So if Tom meet Mr. Bayshaw, he could warn Mr. Bayshaw, and if Harry meet Mr. Penal, he could charge Mr. Penal. It cannot work that way, because then you will always give rise to the claims of discrimination being perpetuated by the police force. And therefore the police commissioner really has to sit and look at this and decide exactly what orders he are going to give or what mandate he's going to give to his officers.
But how do we go forward here? There's a call now from a particular MP, I think the name escaped me, where this matter should go further to Parliament to be debated. Because
what matter is
the
that?
same, the COVID-19 law as it relates to the mask, as it relates to public gathering and so on.
I don't understand. I thought that was already debated, and both the opposition and the government would have been on the same page with regard to that.
Because I think he's taking a spin from Gary Griffith, the Commissioner of Police, who is saying that this matter needs to be clarified.
What do you mean?
There's too much ambiguity.
Oh, you mean you want to bring amendments to the law to give greater specification?
In other words, amendments to the amendment.
Yeah, that's fine. If they wish to do that and waste time on that, they can.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, no matter what you do, if the citizens of this country do not adhere or see themselves as being in danger every step of the way, if they do not understand that one momentary lapse, one moment of complacency could jeopardize you and your family, then no amount of laws in the world could stop that. And that is a fact. So yes, you could go and you could debate on the MP. The job of the MP is to rant and rave in an event. And you could go and you could make amendments to the law. And what are the amendments? You could try to bring some sort of specificity to the vagueness that may exist with regard to public-private spaces, how many people should gather, with regard to the mask wearing and what have you. But at the end of the day, it will come down to the citizens once again.
Okay. Explain to us, edify us this morning, public space as opposed to private space.
Well, it's very simple and it's very logical. It doesn't have to be law to understand that the public spaces where any members of the public could gather or attend to. Your private space is your own private space where anybody outside of those who you have given permission to enter or to belong to can't come in. Any member of the public could go to the Arangwe Savannah. Not any member of the public could come into my home. That's the difference, basically. At the end of the day, even with the Bayshaw Towers thing, I was looking at some of the statements. If it's a community, a gated community, let's say.
It becomes private.
Again, I'm speculating and assuming here, but just for the sake of being the devil's advocate.
For argument purposes.
If it's a gated community, it is still a community, gated or not, where different persons live in individual units, which is their private space. Which means within that gated community, you also have communal space. Can then that communal space be deemed public space? If you understand what I'm saying. So if you have the pool party, can the communal space within a gated community be deemed a public space? Because nobody needs permission to go into that communal space. So it is a public space to the 1,000 people who live within that gated community. And these are some of the things that the law will certainly have to address as we go along.
So then you agree with Subhash Pandey, ambiguity.
Well, yeah, no, so certainly I agree with him. There's ambiguity. I don't agree with him that the law is for the wealthy only for the COVID-19 Act. I think the law is for the wealthy, and that claim has been made for generations and all the laws that we may have. The fact is, Ken, and if you have the money and you could hire the best legal representation, then certainly your chances are better. And that's the fact. Whether you like it or not, that is how it is.
And it's certainly having a ripple effect, because people now are seeing this matter as whereby the police officers will make the determination as to whether to charge you or not. And here it is, the Bar Owners Association of Trinidad and Tobago. They too are raising the red flag. Now, as it relates to this matter, let's say a bar owner closes his door, but he has 3 or 4 people inside of his bar engaging people. Is that termed a private entity or public entity?
It can't be a private once monies are passing and the bar owner is in the process of selling this alcoholic beverage to the customers. Whether you close your door or not, once monies are passing, it means that you are engaged in trade with the public. And I think the regulations are clear on that. The fact is, it's a buy and move rather than buy and sit down on lime. And once your doors may be closed and you may claim private, but certainly if a complaint is made, then the police have the right to come and intervene, because even if your door is closed and you have more than 5 or 10 or whatever the case may be, then you could be in trouble, certainly.
Well, what is coming out of our discussion this morning is that, in essence, it's up to the public, members of the public, to lodge a complaint if you feel that something untoward is happening and your life is at risk.
Certainly, I am at the risk of being condemned. I am saying to every single member of the public, if your neighbor is having a party by them, and they are breaching the public's health regulations in terms of the amount of persons, you have to feel free to pick up your telephone, because that person is endangering the lives of the public. This and unless the public begins to look at this as a war where their very lives and the lives of their children are threatened, then we would not understand and we will not take the necessary action. The law, in addition to the police who seeks to implement the law, the authorities who go to parliament and pass the legislation and the law, the public are the ones who have to technically police the law, in terms of be out there. The police cannot be in everybody's homes at the same time. The police cannot be in every part of the country at the same time. The police cannot be in every bar, every recreation ground, every public space or even private space at the same time. And that is where the authorities, the police, but the public plays a very large part in upholding the law and giving the police the local standard to implement the law. And that is why you have things like Crime Stoppers and what have you, because the public could pick up a telephone and say so and so is happening, and then the police can act or the authorities can act.
In a sense, the public needs to be the eyes and the ears of the TTPS.
The public must be the watchdogs, not the watchdogs of the police or the government specifically, but the public must be the watchdogs of the public. If you understand what I'm saying, the public must be the watchdogs of all that exists within the country, because it is dependent on the complaints by the public and the advocacy and the articulation by the public on the wrongs and the breaches that are happening, that the police and the authorities can act. So it comes back down to where the public has a very large part to play in ensuring that the COVID-19 rules and regulations are also implemented. I could go down to Toko now and two fellas get in an argument, and then I could come on the radio and quarrel and say, what the police doing? The police not doing anything.
Yeah, but there's no report.
There's no report, there's no complaint. You understand? So we can all only act upon what is told to us. For example, you may have a child and the child is going to school every single day and the child is being bullied, or the child is being treated in a very negative way by the teacher with comments and whatever. You will never know. In your expectation, all is well, until such time as that child tells a friend who tells you for itself that this is wrong. You will never know, and therefore you cannot intervene. And that is why I'm saying again, in spite of all the laws and the regulations, the public has a very large part to play, and I think to a very large extent the public in Trinidad and Tobago, from what I'm seeing while I'm driving around, there are many people who seems not to understand what is happening, not in Trinidad alone, but worldwide. India, for example, has become the second largest COVID-19 case country in the world, after Brazil, I think it is. You have almost 1 million deaths in the United States. We still don't understand, and we are still not grasping how essential it is that the public also plays its part in acting upon as the foundation upon which the police and the authorities can act.
So in essence, you agree with me, you cannot legislate for everything.
You can't legislate for everything, no, certainly not.
All right, Mr. Maraj, we need to head up to the 8 o'clock newscast. When we come back, we'll continue with our discussion right here, 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. Stay with us here.
Sure.
97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
It is now time for Major News to the Hour. It comes to you with the very kind compliments of Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Lisha Limited, the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday, and Darpan Trading Company Limited.
This is the ATM News on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I am Nicole Dookie. Good morning. The Barkeepers and Operators Association of Trinidad and Tobago is calling on the Attorney General and the Police Commissioner to clarify the public health ordinance as it relates to parties on a private property. The association points out an incident last month in which 32 persons were arrested at a private house in Valsayn and were subsequently charged and granted station bail. It also insisted that bars, once not open to the general public, are considered private property. Yet, persons have been arrested and charged with absolutely no hesitation or warning by the TTPS. The association called for the immediate clarification, saying the right of citizens as enshrined in the Constitution applies to all and not only a particular percentage of society. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Gary Griffith has defended the TTPS enforcement of the Public Health Ordinance regulations. This follows criticism of the decision not to change persons attending a recent pool party at Bayside Towers. As a result, yesterday, the top cop said the law is clear as it pertains to the guidelines relating to the public spaces. He said he has spoken with every divisional commander and none of them had shared any occasion where they charged anyone for a breach in COVID-19 regulations at their private residences. Instead, he said persons were dispersed or given warnings, as was the case at Bayside Towers. He went on to add that there were instances of persons gathering in public spaces as well and were also dispersed and sent off without warnings. He warned, however, that where private residence is used for the hosting of a public ticketed event, it becomes a public space where the regulations will be enforced. Citizens can continue to access medication through the Chronic Disease Assistance Program. The assurance comes from the Ministry of Health as it sought to allay the fears that the initiative was being stopped. A letter to the editor appearing in a daily newspaper called on Health Minister Terence D.L. Singh to leave the program alone. The ministry advised that the minister at no time indicated that the CDAP initiative would be stopped. The ministry said citizens can rest assured that they can continue to receive their medication to address chronic non-communicable diseases via CDAP. The CDAP program is available to all citizens. President of the Association of Principals Secondary Schools, Ronald Mutu, said that there are some challenges with the new learning system. However, he said that things are being put in place to address these challenges.
We are engaged, and many of us are still engaged in the planning process. We are trying very hard to reach some of the parents and some of the students that for some reason we don't have working numbers for them or even addresses for them, and we have to use secondary measures. Some of us are using the SSSD to help us with that, and we are putting things in place.
Mr. Mutu said that there has been a high rate of attendance thus far. He made the comments in an interview with the media yesterday.
Many of our schools, around half, maybe more than just over half of our schools have already engaged students on the online platforms, and most schools are reporting a very high level of attendance, over 98%, one or two schools even 100%. And this augurs well, really, for the rest of this year, and not only for the rest of this year, but for the blended learning process generally.
Police said 12 people were taken into custody in connection with gang-related offences. The 12, who were between the ages of 18 and 56, were held yesterday morning during a police operation. The operation was carried out by officers of the Northern Division. The operations also included officers attached to the NDTF West, NDTF East, NDTF Central, Tunapuna Warrant Staff, Lahokota Crime and Patrol and K9 Unit. Police said between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. officers went to several homes in El Dorado and Tunapuna where they conducted the searches leading to the detention of the 12 suspects. A 40-year-old woman was also detained in an outstanding time-allowed commitment arrest warrant. You are listening to the 8 a.m. news on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. It's time now to take a look at regional and international developments. Tropical storm Paulette is expected to become a hurricane over the weekend. According to an advisory issued by the National Hurricane Center at 5 a.m. on Friday, swells are forecast to spread across the southwestern Atlantic with increasing rip current threat. There are currently no coastal watches or warning in effect, but interests in Bermuda are being advised to monitor the storm's progress. At 5 a.m., the center of Tropical Storm Paulette was about 1,020 miles from southeast Bermuda. The National Hurricane Center said it's moving towards the west-northwest at approximately 10 miles per hour. A motion towards the northwest is expected for the next few days. On forecast track, Paulette Center should approach Bermuda by Sunday night or early Monday. Maximum sustained winds are near 65 miles per hour with higher gusts. Internationally, Germany says 10 European countries have agreed to take 400 unaccompanied minors who fled Greece's largest migrant camp when it got gutted by fire. In a press release on Friday, the Interior Minister said most would go to Germany and France. Close to 13,000 people had been living in a squalor in the Moria camp in Lesbos. Families have been sleeping in fields on roads after fleeing the blaze on Wednesday, and authorities struggled to find them accommodation. Near the ruins of Moria, local residents blocked the roads to stop charities from delivering aid and said they were against the construction of new tents. After visiting Moria, the European Commission Vice President announced that the devastated camp would be replaced by a modern facility on the same site. The Greek government has sent a team to Lesbos to find a solution locally, but residents oppose plans for a new camp. In news of the weather for the period today until midnight, Trinidad, Tobago and the Leeward Islands, hot with partly cloudy skies, occasionally becoming cloudy with showers, some of which can become heavy and thundery. Gusty winds and street flooding can be expected in areas of heavy showers. The Windward Islands generally hot and sunny despite a few isolated showers. Tonight will be mostly clear. Seas are moderate with waves up to 2 meters in open waters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. The current temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. And that brings us to the end of the 8 a.m. newscast on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Stay tuned for another newscast at noon. I am Nicole Dookie. Good morning.
That was Major News to the Hour, brought to you with the very kind compliments of Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Lisha Limited, the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday, and Darban Trading Company Limited. A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited of 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo for all your hardware materials from foundation to finish. Not forgetting all your general contracting needs. We have it all at A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited, located at 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo. Just call Tiki Ali at 650-2180.
A&S Hardware are wholesalers and retailers of plywood, an assortment of lumber, galvanized pipe, hollow section, and steel. Customers can enjoy special prices on white pine and pitch pine doors.
Only the people can save the people. This is the mantra of the National Solidarity Assembly. Join its political leader and president of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, Nirvan Maharaj, as he invites you to join these organizations and other top executives on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper for 2 one-hour monthly features as they discuss the concerns and challenges facing the working class of this country, tackling the issues, generating bold talk, finding solutions, bringing the workers' agenda to the front burner, and providing a new vehicle. That's the NSA's mission. Be part of this informative panel discussion with operatives from the NSA. Only happening here on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper.
U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio is now on Facebook. Like us, follow and share our page. We'll be sharing the latest news, tips and much more. You can also view what's happening in our studio. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel at RCL U975.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back to 975. 11 minutes have passed the hour of 8 o'clock. Time check, KTC Radio 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. We continue our discussion here with the President of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, Attorney at Law, Mr. Nirvan Maharaj. Before we went to the 8 o'clock newscast, we were talking about the ambiguity, the grayness in this law, the COVID-19 law. A number of people are quite confused as to what is right, as to what is wrong. But as I said to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, is what is the bigger picture here. The bigger picture here is to flatten the curve, reduce the risk of this virus spreading in the country. Over 2,000 people would have tested positive thus far, and the figures continue to climb. 43 people would have died as a result of the coronavirus. Very frightening situation indeed. Mr. Maharaj?
Well, Ken, I think there are really 3 issues, fundamental issues that we really need to clear up with regard to the law. And it is, as I would have said this morning, can communal spaces within a gated community be deemed a public space where members of that community do not need permission to go to or to go into? Can a bar, having closed its doors and not trading, or monies are not being exchanged for the provision of any good, whether it be a beer or rum or whatever it may be, can that be done, and can it be now deemed a private residence with a private gathering taking place if monies are not being exchanged in what we deem a bar? And certainly the other very fundamental point, I think, is can we continue to have ordinary police officers exercising a discretion of selective judgment on whether to charge or not to charge for a law that comes with a fixed penalty? That is something we need to look at, because as long as you allow that, then certainly there will always be cries of discrimination and the police acting unfairly. So these are 3 of the issues I think that needs to be looked at very carefully with regard to this law. Those in authority need to address it, and let's have some clarity moving forward.
All right. Moving forward with our conversation, let's look at what is happening with Budget 2020, Budget 2021, a package which will be presented by Finance Minister Colm Imbert on the 5th of this month. I want to get your take on it as it relates to Labour. What are you expecting in this?
Well, I mean, we keep saying the same thing over and over every single year. I would have wanted to see monies allocated for the start of an indemnity fund, whereby any company that winds up becomes insolvent, where workers are retrenched en masse, that at least there's an indemnity fund contributed to by the government as well as the specific company to take up the shortfall and ensure that the workers could have a smooth transition from that retrenchment towards getting another job. And when I say smooth transition, I mean, of course, having monies to live by. That is one of the things I really want to see. I would want to see the government allocate enough funding to begin the process of identifying, surveying and demarcating all the state lands in Trinidad and Tobago so as to bring about a proper land management policy upon which you could have an enabling agricultural environment being developed. So certainly, as I've said before, we have looked at Caroni lands, we have looked at cane lands, we have looked at squatting lands, we have looked at state lands, and enough money must be allocated to ensure that the lands could be demarcated, properly developed, properly surveyed, so that you could have a proper agricultural. I hear everybody talking about give more money to agriculture, give more money to agriculture, give more money to agriculture, but at the end of the day, if you do not have a proper land management policy upon which the agricultural sector can rest, then all the monies you give to agriculture, I don't know where the monies will be going. So certainly we need to really begin that process. I think COVID has shown us the need to be able to, at least partly or to a very large extent, feed ourselves. That is basically, I would have liked to see all the outstanding negotiations going back to 2011, 2013, 2012. All these outstanding negotiations come to an end with proper allocations by the government through the CPO's office, of course. That is basically what I could say at this point in time. I don't think the country should look for a people's budget as the cliche term is often used. I think the government has to do what is necessary to ensure that measures are taken not only to combat COVID, but measures are taken to deal with that global economic recession that we are basically seeing. There are many people who believe that we exist in isolation of the world. We don't. If the United States crashes, then rest assured the regional areas will crash as well. The fact is, all is not well worldwide, and we as a country and as a people, we must and will have to be able to adapt to changing circumstances. We are not a culture where we understand wage cuts or wage freezes. We are not a culture where we understand sometimes you have to sacrifice. We are a culture, and that is a fact. And the thing about, I make no apologies in what I say. We are a culture where we expect that every 3 years we get an increase in salary, or we are a culture who we expect water rates will remain the same, or electricity rates will remain the same, or the school fee. Well, when school was out, that the school feeding program will remain the same. What the point I'm making is that we have to begin to understand that budgetary allocations are where monies are allocated for different aspects of running your household, meaning the country. And as such, it is not to say you could take all the money and give it to one sector. And because of that, we have to be very careful how we operate. Even our own mindset as citizens must change. We have to understand that it is not normal times.
Mr. Maraj, you represent a number of workers in the private sector. The private sector is one of the main, let's say, factors in driving the economy. I spoke to Kevin Ramnarine sometime last week, and I spoke to various presidents of the various streamers. The clarion call is this, that the government of the day, or by extension the finance minister, should look at introducing measures to make doing business in this country easier, removing some of the red tape and some of the protocols. I say that from the point that you represent a number of workers in the private sector.
Well, I agree with those statements 100%. I think to a very large extent, some of the legalities at times, some of the bureaucracies at times may be a bit daunting for many people who may want to do business. But the point also is, I called by one of the chambers that the government should intervene to ensure that small businesses and small to medium-sized businesses are able to function and keep not only producing or providing a service, but also keep people employed. And that is why you may very well need some subsidies and subventions from the government for that. But at the same time, trade unions must also understand, and I speak as a trade union leader, but I also speak as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago and as a nationalist and a patriot. trade unions must also understand if the government would be providing subsidies and subventions to keep people employed, you can't go about there demanding 50% increase and 20%, because the very fact that you are employed and engaged in job security and that is being subsidized is in itself a boon to you. Otherwise you would be unemployed. So it's drawing that thin line between fighting for better wages for workers, but while understanding lowering oil and gas prices, plummeting oil and energy prices, a global economic recession, and of course operating within a COVID-19 pandemic. Now I've listened to the statements of some of my trade union colleagues, those who represent the public sector, let's say. Public sector workers can't be fired or terminated, and the public sector can't be wound up and all workers sent home. So many of these trade unionists could rant and rave and call for the most outlandish of things and demand the most outlandish of things without any adverse effect to them, because their workers are protected by the public service rules and regulations. And if you are in essential services, the term essential services also give you some kind of protection, because you can't be retrenched or shut down just like that. But when you represent workers in private companies who could wind up in the morning, who could write to the minister and say they're going to retrench everybody, and who understand the law where you could wind up and where you could restart your business 1 year from now under a new name and hire people on contract, the way you operate have to be different. My major concern have to be job security, especially within a COVID-19 pandemic and a global economic downturn. And that is why you would find different trade unionists operate differently, because it really depends on the nature of the businesses, the companies, and the sectors that you represent. There are some trade unionists who could call for 100% increase, say we go shut down, and if you don't give me, there are others who have to walk a very thin line to ensure company survivability in order to bring about worker employability. And that is the fundamental difference. And therefore, how I may look at the budget and how I may, as a labor leader, seek to analyze the budget will to be a very large extent dependent upon the sectors of workers that I represent, unlike other trade unionists who may represent workers in different sectors. So labor can never and will never be on the same page when it comes to the specifics of the different sectors you represent. We will be on the same page when we call for labor legislative reform. We will be on the same page when we call for an indemnity fund. We will be on the same page when we call for no retrenchment, alternative work, redeployment, employers should understand less profits to keep people employed. We will be on the same page when we call for the CPO to go into the negotiations and bring an end to these outstanding negotiations, or even private companies. But we cannot be on the same page how we deal with different companies as we represent our workers. Because within those sectors, some leaders, certainly because of the sectors they represent, can say and do things that others can't.
Michael Anicent of the Cement and Waterfront Workers Trade Union would have signaled that he is not prepared to offer any sort of advice or have any sort of communication with the finance minister as it relates to the budget 2020. You represent workers from the private sector in the main. The finance minister would have indicated that he would meet with various stakeholders on the 28th of this month to discuss the budget going forward. Are you prepared to, let's say, have any sort of communication with the minister,
of course,
as to some of the recommendations which you would have just outlined?
Of course I am totally prepared, and I don't understand, Anicet might be my labor colleague, but it doesn't mean that we will always be on the same page. I disagree with him totally, because I remember in 2014 or 2013, I think it was, when the then Prime Minister, Mrs. Bissessa, wanted to meet with the labor movement. I remember there were some trade unions who did not meet with the then Prime Minister. I was one of them who met with her together with members of NATUC. So my point is, what is the difference? If you could condemn those who didn't meet then, Why are you attempting to walk along the same road now? If the Minister of Finance indicates that he would want to or wish to meet with the labor movement, whether you make the argument things wouldn't change and it remain the same and we meet 1,000 times, that is irrelevant to the point. The substantive issue that a budget is coming and the finance minister is asking to meet with the labor movement. By all means, you have to meet. There's something called protocol. There's something called decorum. There's something called etiquette and a manner of operating at a particular level. How you operate at the level of the national community cannot be how you operate at the level of a village council, you know. If you understand the difference, when you deal with the prime minister and you deal with the leader of the opposition and you deal with government and you deal with the state, you can't operate as though you're in a cricket match and somebody take a catch, you're out and you grab your bat and you go home. It doesn't operate that way. You represent the country. You don't represent only specific workers. Yes, you do as a trade union leader, but also as a leader of the country as well. Everything you do or say will reflect on the country, and therefore I am quite prepared to meet with the finance minister whether anything changes or not. But the fact is, I must have my say, so that I could be justified in saying in 2020 I met with the finance minister and I indicated these things to him and nothing was done or something was done. But sitting down and saying I'm not prepared to meet because I don't care and nothing will be done, then I think that's a bit it is not as it should be, let me say that.
I know this caller has been trying to get into
the
program.
That's
Let's
fine.
take this caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 97.5. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for picking up the phone, Kendrick. I'd like to ask Mr. Nirvan Maharaj something, because you speak so well. Do you think that when these ministers give out houses, and they have photo ops with giving out houses, that is all propaganda? Because part of their job is to find housing. You don't take a picture every time you give a house to somebody. It shows that you are doing this out of the kindness of your heart. You are driven by the rule of law. The rule of law says that you should give everybody an equal place, including housing, access to roads, food, education, health care. All of these are done politically to fool the public, and you have to become dependent on them. You see, Mr. Nirvan Maharaj, you speak so many truths. And when I listen to you, we need, I don't know. It's good that you're on the airwaves because you reach me. But I know that this is a ploy. And forever I have seen the rule of law favor the elite. You get somebody's son, and he is a filthy rich guy. You've got cocaine, you've got marijuana, you've got scales, you've got all the equipment and the paraphernalia to show that he has violated the rule of law. And he will never get charged, and if he does, he walks free and he has a job.
Okay, well, let's leave it there for a while. Our conversation would have been digressed. Go ahead, Mr.
Yeah,
Nash.
let me say I agree with the caller totally. The fact is, what you have ministers of government doing is really engage in photo opportunities when it comes to the giving out of houses or the giving out of a colony lease. I have always said, and the caller is totally correct, no one should have to bow and thank and go down on their knees and beg a minister of government or a member of parliament for paving a road or building a box drain, because that is their job, that is their duty, that is their function. That is what the opposition is getting. I think it's about $17,000 a month in addition to about $40,000-50,000 to run their office. That is why government ministers are getting $30-something thousand a month in addition to monies to run their office. They are paid to do a job. They are public servants, and no one should have to go down on their knees and thank and praise and take a lota and tarya and chilhawe a minister or a member of parliament for opening a standpipe or building a box drain. That is their duty, that is their function, and that is what they have been paid to do. So they are not doing anything out of the ordinary.
Let's hear this call on the line.
Sure.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to 975. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ken.
Good morning to you, Chris.
Yeah, sorry. Let me first of all say, Nirvana, I must congratulate you. Fantastic opportunity this morning for the public to get all the clarification. I thank you very much for it. And everything you have said is so very right. I think that this program should be repeated and people should be more cognizant of what you are saying. These things about whether it's a public place and private place and discretion on the part of police officers, that is a total cop-out. That is who is friend and who is not friend. And that society cannot live it up that way. You'll always find room for discrimination, for allegation of discrimination, and even as they say to the photo of houses, it again shows discrimination. Who they give out houses to? This national program that they have, this thing for young people, it stinks of discrimination. So I agree to totally. I think it's time that people of this country start looking at this and putting things right for us. Thank you very much, Dirvan.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, that's the voice of one of our regular callers, Chris Maraj, sharing his thoughts with us this morning. Folks, it's just about 8:30. I need to take a very short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue with our discussion with Mr. Maraj. And stay with us. 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper.
Only the people can save the people. This is the mantra of the National Solidarity Assembly. Join its political leader and president of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, Nirvan Maharaj, as he invites you to join these organizations and other top executives on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper for 2 one-hour monthly features as they discuss the concerns and challenges facing the working class of this country, tackling the issues, generating bold talk, finding solutions, bringing the workers' agenda to the front burner, and providing a new vehicle. That's the NSA's mission. Be part of this informative panel discussion with operatives from the NSA. Only happening here on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper.
Join me every Sunday for Love Vibrations from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. featuring all your favorite love songs from every decade and the most powerful quotes ever written. You can send your shout-outs. WhatsApp 378-4975, or you can simply call 636-7547 or 227-5739, or go online to www.975radio.com. It's hosted by yours truly, DJ Sean, on U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
I found a love for me.
Yes, as we wrap up our conversation with Mr. Maraj here this morning, we're heading up to the hour of 8 o'clock. Just about 27 minutes here to the hour of 9 o'clock, rather. My apologies. Yeah. Mr. Maraj, budget 2020, budget 2021, you said you do not expect it to be, quote-unquote, a people's budget. But let's look at the bread and butter issues. There's expectation that given the fall in revenue, that the finance minister may dip into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, may increase VAT from 12.5% to 15%, and in essence may look at corporate tax and personal income tax. So share your views with me. These are the issues.
What I want to do is that I want to first of all listen to the budget. At this stage I don't want to assume or speculate on what the finance minister may do. Certainly I would write the finance minister as a trade union leader, representing several private companies, workers who belong to private companies. But before I comment on the budget, I would want to see exactly what is done, because I understand that we have to balance the plummeting energy prices, the global recession and COVID-19. We have to balance that with ensuring people are able to earn a livelihood and that there's some sense of normalcy within the country. And certainly I would hope that you would not have such austerity measures that it would adversely affect the working class to the extent where you have people going home and people are unable to provide at least the basic means of survival for themselves and their families. I've always said that employers must understand that if you make $10 million profit in 2019 and you make $8 million profit in 2020, it is still a profit. And sometimes rather than retrenchment, rather than a cut in wages or a wage freeze, you have to understand that lower profits together with more efficiency and proper management could create that balance between the employer and the employee being able to adhere to the implied conditions that they hold for each other. So I would want to not go into the budget as yet. I have told you what I want from a labor perspective and from an agricultural perspective. What I would want to say though before we wrap up, because I have a few legal meetings I must attend, sometimes it becomes very daunting when you look at the voting patterns, when you look at elections, when you look at sometimes people who put themselves outside there and they are discarded by the voting population in favor of 3 letters. And what you find happening is many people vote for 3 letters rather than voting for individuals who could make a change. But I want to say this morning that, I'm always motivated and I feel enthusiastic when I listen to Chris and I listen to the lady who called before Chris. I don't know her name, but who articulate and advocate on issues, and they attempt to do so from a very objective perspective. And it's good to know that there are people out there who are listening and are also willing to view things from a very objective perspective rather than simply a partisan perspective. So I must say I commend them on that, and I look forward to hearing them again.
All right, but can I let you go before talking CPL cricket here and Trinbago Knight Riders? In the face of all of the challenges we are facing in this country, this morning we can have a smile on our face.
Certainly.
Trinbago Knight Riders and
Certainly.
this historic victory. Your thoughts?
Well, it's historic victory. It's 4 times running. I did not have a doubt. My expectations was simply that the Knight Riders would have won. Looking at how they would have played from game number 1 coming in, I had absolutely no doubt that they would have won the competition. I'm happy and pleased for that. The country, I think, got a breathing space, if I may say so, from all the adversity facing us. But let me say, the measure of a nation, the measure of a man, the measure of a people sometimes is the ability to get up and walk after being knocked down 1,000,000 times. The measure of the man is amidst all adversity, he's able to get up and walk again. And I have no doubt that Trinidad and Tobago will continue to do what it has to do, and the people will continue to do what it has to do, Ken.
All right, Mr. Maraj, I want to thank you very much for sharing the studio with me this morning. Always a pleasure talking to you. Looking forward to being in your company again next week. Take care, my friend, and be safe.
Thank you very much for having me, Ken.
Next week. That's the voice there of Anirvan Maraj, the President General of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, as they continue to build capacity with us here at 975. Stay with us.
Only the people can save the people. This is the mantra of the National Solidarity Assembly. Join its political leader and president of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, Nirvan Maharaj, as he invites you to join these organizations and other top executives on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper for 2 one-hour monthly features as they discuss the concerns and challenges facing the working class of this country, tackling the issues, generating bold talk, finding solutions, bringing the workers' agenda to the front burner, and providing a new vehicle. That's the NSA's mission. Be part of this informative panel discussion with operatives from the NSA. Only happening here on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper.
Join me.
Gosh, boy, I can't wait to go home now.
Stuck in traffic again? Hare Bapre.
Well, guess what? Your day is about to get hotter than ever in the afternoon. It's the new afternoon drive time program on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Tune in Monday to Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with yours truly, the DJ Flavia Experience. Let's make it hotter than ever in the afternoon. Great music, great info, and great vibes. Hotter than ever in the afternoon. Monday to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
Join me every Sunday for Love Vibrations from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. featuring all your favorite love songs from every decade and the most powerful quotes ever written. You can send your shout outs. WhatsApp 4975. Or you can simply call 636-7547 or 227-5739. Or go online to www.975radio.com. It's hosted by yours truly, DJ Sean. On U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
I found a love for me.
You've been waiting. You've been asking. Now, are you ready? Are you ready for the hottest Sunday morning radio show? Mortani Sundays returns! Tune in to U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Radio, every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. with yours truly, the DJ Flavio Experience. We pop in again every Sunday, U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio. You think this come with a free pass? Can't go anywhere to enjoy yourself? Well, join us on 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio, as we got your Saturdays covered. The party starts from 8 a.m. Yes! 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We got Sharon Baruch alongside DJ Vishal. 12 to 3 p.m. Captain Kendall is in full flight and will take you straight into 3 to 6 as DJ Anil will put you into the mix. Then from 6 to 9, the man DJ Sean, half man, half amazing, takes the spotlight from 6 to 9. And from 9 to 1, the man Corky D steps into the building and he will mix it up for you into the morning. Tune in, log on 975radio.com as we put you in the party mood with all of our DJs and announcers. Tell your friends, tell your family, 975radio.com.
Yes, indeed, and welcome back to 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. You're with the morning program. We're heading up to the hour of 9 o'clock. It's just about 19 minutes here to the hour of 9. And that time check came to you through the kind courtesy of Radio 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper. Well, today is a very significant day, Shiva. No, it didn't escape me. I remember the date very well. Yesterday is 9/11. Yeah, September 11th, 9/11, the anniversary, of the bombing of the Twin Towers there, the Trade Center in New York, where a number of people would have lost their lives. I think it was over 2,000. And I was listening to a report last night emanating out of a CNN. And I think someone in the know would have said that this could never happen again in the United States. Well, I don't know on what evidence he's basing such a pronouncement, but in this world, as we are seeing today, COVID-19, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Now, I want to read a letter to you, and I'm hoping that maybe by Monday or so we can get some clarity on this, and I will try to get some more information as possible. Listen to this letter. It is published in the Newsday today. Here it goes. I was told by a clerk at the licensing office that to renew my driver's permit, I will have to make an appointment on her online or by telephone. The clerk then gave me the necessary information to do so. I went to the official Ministry of Works and Transport website to get an appointment, but there were no available dates in September, none in October, none in November, none in December, and none in 2021. Now listen to this very carefully, Shiva. Next, I rang the 3 telephone numbers for making appointments, and in each case, I waited ages for someone to answer, but no one ever did. I made several other attempts, but without success. I have been hearing from others that their experiences have been no better. It is obvious that there are many like myself who are unable to transact businesses at the licensing office because of their inability to obtain appointments. What am I to do? Is the minister aware of the situation? We need to hear something from the authorities. I read this to you because this too was lamented to me over during the week, where a young lady would have said that she's been trying to make an appointment to get her permit renewed. And she would have been at loggerheads as to how to go about this. Rightly so. Appointments cannot be gotten in the months of October and September. So what are people to do? What are people to do? My understanding is that I think that some quote-unquote bly would have been given to this group of people whose permits would expire in the coming months. I think a bly was given until December. But here it is, you have a young lady is saying that even up to December, she has been trying to make an appointment and cannot get any. So she's in limbo. Let's take this call on the line. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
Morning. Can I go that letter and what you said is correct? I had the same problem with getting at the county office. But I did try one of the other offices. In fact, I tried Port of Spain office. The online, I selected Port of Spain, and I was able to get. And I did an experiment trying for the Arima and St. James, and you couldn't get it. I don't know what the issue
Yeah,
is.
but to me it is ridiculous.
Well,
As a southerner, why I should go to Arima, why I should go to come to Port of Spain, why I should go to Caroni in order to get this simple document.
I agree with you. It is unacceptable, but I mean, sometimes if you have a service to get to, you might have to make a sacrifice. I mean, Port of Spain would have been an inconvenience to me, but I took it.
Yeah, but what?
But I'll be honest with you, the service at Port of Spain was very good. There was no issue in terms of being allowed inside. Your name was on the record. You had an appointment, and it went good. I didn't have a problem.
Yeah, but hold on. Is there a policy, or was there any decision made as to giving the people whose permits would have expired? Is there some policy or decision made that it will be extended until December?
I think there was something to that. It was extended. I know up to September. I don't know if it went up to December. I can't.
Are police officers aware of this?
There are plenty things police not aware of. But personally,
or licensing officers.
Well, I don't know. I personally would not take a chance with an expired permit. I ain't taking that chance at all.
Yeah, but what do you do? What do you do?
I agree. Getting a date that carrying is very difficult, impossible, not at all. I mean, if the person can facilitate this by going to one of the officers, I'll advise them to try that.
My suggestion is anyone who is making an appointment to get this process or transact this business should make a printout of that appointment and keep it on their person.
I agree.
Because you have some police officers, they will want to prosecute you, not knowing the law,
That's right. By expired permit, you may be the wrong man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kendra, take care.
All right, my friend. Well, thank you very much. No, I mean, the authorities in this respect, the Minister of Works and Transport, need to come clear whether any decision has been taken. But I think, and I stand to be corrected, I think that some decision would have been made as to an extension until the month of December. I am not too sure, but I'll have to get some more information, and I will share it with you as it comes to me. Yes? On that note, folks, let me say a very special good morning to each and every one of you outside there who would have been locked on to the program. Thank you very much for being part of the 975 FM Hot Like Pepper family. Thank you very much. Let's go to a very short commercial break, and when I come back, I'll wrap up today's edition of the morning program. Stay with us here, 975 FM Hot Like Pepper.
You've been waiting. You've been asking. Now, are you ready? Are you ready for the hottest Sunday morning radio show? Murtani Sundays returns. Feel the power. Tune in to U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Radio, every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. with yours truly, the DJ Flavio Experience. We pumping again every Sunday. U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio. You think this come with a free pass?
Gosh, boy,
I can't wait to go home now.
Stuck in traffic again? Hare baapre.
Well, guess what? Your day is about to get hotter than ever in the afternoon. It's the new afternoon drive time program on you 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Tune in Monday to Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with yours truly, the DJ Flavia Experience. Let's make it hotter than ever in the afternoon. Great music, great info, and great vibes. Hotter than ever in the afternoon. Monday to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. on you 97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's the beginning of our weekend here at 975 FM Hot Like Pepper. And as such, we'll be keeping you in that party mode. Yes. So whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, take 975 FM Hot Like Pepper with you. Well, I have this final call on the line. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 975. Good morning.
Good morning, Kendrick.
And good morning, dear. How are you this morning?
I am good. Well, I listened to your program, very interesting.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, and Mr. David Maraj, he spoke very sensible and interesting topics. Very nice indeed. Well, you know, we have 43 cases now.
43 you mean 43 people would have died?
Yeah, 43 who died, So, we had to be safe, we had to put on the mask and social distances and only go out if necessary. I hope people taking that into consideration.
Well, my call exactly, ma'am. You know, I would have been making that call for the longest while. And I agree with Mr. Maraj this morning. You cannot legislate for everything. One must look at what is the bigger picture here. The bigger picture here is to flatten the curve, to ensure that you reduce the risk of this virus spreading. And the rate we are going, my friend, well, I don't know. I cannot see no light at the end of the tunnel. Final caller for the day. Hello, good morning. Welcome to 975. Good morning.
Good morning. I'll listen to that editorial that you read there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could do things about that. They could open the licensing office 6 in the morning and close it 6 in the evening to accommodate people. The other thing that they tell you are perfect good until December. But look at the person trying to get an appointment January month and you can't get any.
Yeah.
And yet they won't come out and say something. Like if nobody, you know, as to what it is going on there.
And then they will...
and the minister's supposed to be on top of these things.
And then...
They're supposed to be on top. You know, a couple phone call and all them things could change. I sit down with 2 or 3 people, important people from licensing office together with the minister. And they can formulate plans to change these things. Open it earlier 6 o'clock and close it 6 o'clock in the evening.
Or run a bloody shift system.
These people have everything at a think and common sense, boy.
Well, I agree with you, my friend. I agree with you. I mean, it's so difficult for people outside there. You have to make appointment. But I understand the bigger picture is, to reduce gathering of people. I understand all of that. But these are important documents which you need. Sometimes you go to transact some sort of business and you do not have a passport, but you need your ID card and your driver's permit. So it is necessary. If your driver's permit would have expired, it may not be acceptable by certain entities wanting to conduct business with you, if you understand my drift. Anyway, we'll continue with this discussion again on a Monday. Take care, people. I'm out of here. Up next is the Bees Hi-Fi. We'll be taking you until the hour of 12 noon today with his version of Mid-Morning and You. But I want to be a bit different this morning because it's a Friday morning shiver, and I want to start our Hot Like Pepper weekend with this selection. It's one of my favorite selections. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy presenting it to you. Good morning, people. Take care of yourself. I am out of here.
See the storm set in your eyes.